I have not seen anything as exciting as I see today when you mention anything artificial intelligence to the average investor. People are willing to pull out their checkbooks almost immediately before they even understand what it is you're trying to do. That's the level of excitement regarding AI. But that's starting to change a little bit. And today I'm going to speak about 6 things that I think are beginning to shape the way global investors see artificial intelligence. The days are gone when you could just put anything AI and go to people and they are quickly jumping. It's starting to change where people are beginning to ask some discerning questions. So, what are the questions investors are asking and why is that important to you? Throughout the day, as I meet people and I speak to various companies that are developing various things, it's important that you realize at the end of the day, this is a business you're going to build. And so you need to understand, how do people look at it who want to invest in your business? The first thing, use cases. It's shifting now to show me really what your product is doing. Because use cases translate to revenues, they translate to profitability, which at the end of the day is ultimately what people are going to invest in. So when I speak to people, and I hear investors speak at the moment, most times what I'm hearing from investors is, show me the use case, show me what it is you're doing. Obviously here, there's also a fragmentation of use cases. People talk about all kinds of things their programs can do and what their products can do, but there is the need for people to be a little bit more focused in this conversation. So you're starting to see that from the point of view of an investor, use cases that are easy for people to understand, easy for people to see how it translates from a product to revenue to cash flow is beginning to attract more interest. First thing, so after you've gone and built a product, built into something that is interesting, you can show revenue, you can show profitability, the question obviously shifts to what is the cash flow possibilities of this business. Now, make no mistake about it, and I'm sure many of you know this already, but that is how investor sentiment is shifting today. Last year, it was easy for companies with just a simple PowerPoint, with a concept, to raise tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. You can still raise money today, but people are going to ask more questions around what is the use case, how is it translating into revenue, and what is the future cash flow of that market going to be. Second thing, emerging markets. Now, this is important for you because across the world today, it's very clear what is beginning to happen. You're going to see domestic champions, original champions emerge. OpenAI at the moment has become the champion for the United States. Everyone knows that, people see that. There's a company called Mistral out of Europe who's starting to position themselves as European champion. Everyone is looking for what is emerging market champion. No one is going to do any of these things for us, or nobody is going to program in your native language, nobody is going to gather data for you unless you do it yourselves. It is very important and this is where I see an incredible opportunity for emerging market focused artificial intelligence companies that cater to the needs of the domestic market. It's hard. Data gathering is hard. Building data sets is hard. Training data sets in this local language is important, but also very hard. But this is where I'm starting to see also big opportunities emerge in the minds of investors. So when I go out and see investors, or when I talk to my fellow investors, these are some of the areas that they're focused on. I think this is where it becomes important for the role of India in the world. Ultimately, you get it built here, it becomes the emerging market standard. And I think it's an opportunity India must grab very, very quickly and grab aggressively, because nobody else is going to do it, especially for your market, which in itself is large enough by itself. So I think this is quite exciting when I see things that are happening today, some of the collaborations being announced and work being done by people in making sure we can build markets, because I think this in itself presents a very exciting area of interest. Third thing, architecture. Architecture, we're looking for things that are new, because every time I meet people and people ask for investments, the first question I hear people ask, or I even ask, is what makes you special? Are you a wraparound, that OpenAI system, or are you your own individual architecture? Anything new and exciting that is individualistic, that in itself can be distinctive, is very important in the minds of investors. Again, something worth thinking about, something worth working on. Otherwise, if you're wrapping around an existing architecture or open source system, just make sure there's something distinctive about it. Because today, like I said, this is the most exciting thing I have seen since the 90s when I started covering technology. And when I was an investor in technology at Goldman Sachs, this is very exciting, but people are also more discerning. So being able to understand and explain your architecture in a manner that is very important is something that's going to get you the attention of investors. Finally, as we speak about architecture, let's talk about offline capabilities. In most of the emerging markets where people play, offline capability is going to be very important, not just for the corporate side, but also for the individual side. I'll give you an example of a use case. One of the most exciting things I have seen recently is people building AI capabilities for general practitioners, so doctors. If you look at markets where you cannot really get a highly trained doctor to operate in those places, can we have something that's a bit offline that provides general practitioner services in those places where we cannot send a doctor to one of the local villages? That, I think, is a compelling use case in many ways that people have not really and should explore. But having an offline capability is also very important because it's key in the way we understand our architectures.